Good evening, everybody. This is Mrs. Feldman, and I'm here with my four-legged assistant Cooper to talk about Chapter 6 today, this evening. Um, this is all about key signatures and how we label a musical key. So, your definition of a musical key is a specific set of pitches used to create a piece of music. So, right at the beginning of a staff of music, so a line of music, you're going to have the time signature that we've talked about, so like 3/4, 6/8, something like that, and then the treble clef or bass clef, and then it'll be accompanied by a key signature. So this might be one sharp or flat, sharps or flats, and it could be a number of them. So and that's what this whole chapter talks about. So the example that you're given on the first couple pages of your textbook is E flat, and so the key signature is found right here. So the key of E flat has 3 flats, as you can see right here, and they're using the song "Be Thou My Vision." The next little example right there, here's Cooper, is G major, which has 1 sharp. So for me, it's easier to memorize the key signatures as opposed to at first you can like use the little tricks to remember them, but a lot of the times it's easier to memorize them when you get to the ones that have more than 4 or 5 sharps or flats. So this gives you the D major scale as well down here at the bottom of page 94. So in the top up here actually gives you the actual key signature for that. So a really key part of the key signature is that there is an order of the sharps and the flats. The order of flats is B, E, A, D, G, C, F. And then the order of sharps is going to be the opposite of that. So F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So I remember it by the flats a little bit easier. So you have bead, like the word bead, and then G, C, F. So that's a little easier for me to remember. But there's other ways to memorize this. Your textbook says, before eating a donut, get coffee first. So you can do things like that, like we did with the memorizing the notes on the treble and bass clef staffs. But it gives you the order of them in letters right here. So flats is the before eating a donut. And then the order of sharps is, like I said, the opposite. So this one says fried chicken goes down after every bite. However, it's easier for you to remember that. It's fine by me. So, the next page actually talks about accidentals. So this is any sharp or flat, or natural symbol to the left of a note on the staff that alters the pitch of a note by raising or lowering a half step. So an accidental can also alter any note that you already have that's been altered. So let's say they've used the key of D major here, which has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. And so maybe they wanted to use an F natural. They would put a natural sign before it, and that would tell me as I'm reading the music, that I need to play an F natural instead of the F sharp. That was previously marked at the beginning of the staff. So anyway, the big key concept from this chapter is probably, the key signatures are very important, but the circle of fifths is an easy way for you to like see how the keys are related, and also to help you remember the sharps and flats, and like how many sharps and flats are in what key. So we start with C major at the top, which has no sharps and flats at all, and then if you go to the left, it'll go in fourths, and it'll go by flats. But if we call it the circle of fifths because you go right, and then if you go right all the way around, it goes in fifths. So C, D, E, F, G, that's 5. G, A, B, C, D, there we go. So, and then each time you add a fifth, you add another sharp to the key signature. And it also shows you that in numbers around this way as well. Which is really helpful. So I would look over that, and this chapter seems to explain those really well. Like I said, this is just an overview. In writing your key signatures, this is just talking about writing them in the correct order. So when we talked about earlier about the order of sharps and flats. They have to go in that order, whether it's B, E, for whatever key you're in. So let's say A flat, I know has four flats. So I need to write B, E, A, D. So I have to have those four. I also wanted to mention, actually that's next in the book, identifying the key signatures. So that is, there's two ways. So the last sharp method, this is for sharps. You go to the last sharp on the key signature. So for, let's say we're in, this one's got 2, so I'll go to the last one, which I know is a C sharp because that's on the C line there. And then you'll go 1/2 step higher, and then that's the key. It's on that D line right there. Same for, actually, this last one is to be cautious when you have 6 or 7 sharps. Those are inharmonic, so the answer is F sharp. So we have F sharp major, but that gets a little funky, as you see. As you saw, we get to some inharmonic, like we talked about several weeks ago, actually. These keys down here you can label them as a sharp key or a flat key, depending on what the composer decided to do. So, moving back a little bit to the second to last flat method is how to label the flat keys, or find the key of if you have flats in the key signature. So the second to the last flat is always the tonic of that key. So not first, second, third. So we have 3. We'll go back to that E. So 3 flats is E flat major. And then I think the last chapter we talked about relative major and minor chords. You can, each key has that relative major and minor, and you just count down the 3 half steps. But the key signature is going to be the same. So we had C major has no sharps or flats, and we're in the A minor has no sharps or flats, because A is 3 half steps down from C. It's also the 6th note of the scale. That's either way is fine. The 6th note of the scale. So that's how you can determine the relative major or relative minor or major in with the key signatures. So we have G major right here marked on page 101, and we can take those 3 half steps down to E to find the relative minor, and then come back, and that E to E is going to be our minor scale right there. And it also discusses the inharmonic keys too, which you guys worked on in chapter 1 and 2, I believe. So I'd like for you to complete the review on page 103, and then page 104 and 5 for this week, and also analyze these 2 on page 106 and 107. But we will, I'll list the complete assignment in Canvas. So I hope you guys have a good week. Please reach out if you have any questions.